for the blockbuster trade in the NBA. The Trailblazers sent Damian Lillard to the Bucks. In return, Portland gets Drew Holiday from Milwaukee, at least for now, and DeAndre Ayton from the Suns. And the Suns get Yusuf Nurkic and depth. Frank, what does this do for all involved?
Every once in a while, Mike, we get one of these blockbuster deals in September, October, sometimes early November. Damian Lillard wanted to go to a team that has a chance to win a championship. He just got traded to the team that finished with the best record in the NBA last year. Of course, got knocked out by Miami, and it wasn't because of Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's a good player, good offensive player, great defensive player. They did get better offensively. Milwaukee did. I think what they're doing, not to get too complicated with contracts, but Drew Holiday can opt out of his contract after this season. Giannis has put it out there. We're going to do enough to keep me in Milwaukee. Well, guess what? Damian Lillard is under contract for at least 3 more years. I think they kicked the can down the road, got a great offensive player, and let's face it, it puts a ton of pressure on none other than Damian Lillard.
It does put puts a lot of pressure on Lillard and on Giannis.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, now basically Bucks ownership has said, Giannis, you ask us to step up.
That's
we
right.
just did. Ball is in your court, proverbially and literally. So I get that. I'm going to look at some other teams here. I don't know what it does for Milwaukee, first of all, though. I think it improves him. I'm a Dame Lillard guy. I believe in him. I believe in who he is in the locker room, who he is as a teammate. But, man, Drew Holiday brings a lot.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not saying this is the same as Boston getting rid of Marcus Smart, because that, to me, is going to hurt them. I just don't know where this is going to leave Milwaukee in terms of all the things you need to do to win in a basketball season. The Suns getting Nurkic and depth. I mean, you know how I hate Grayson Allen. But now a team I care about is there. By the way, you want him on your team.
Oh, he's going to compete.
He's going to compete. They just got physically tougher.
Yeah.
With Nurkic and
100%.
Allen and Nasir Little. They got tougher. They got even more depth.
Nurkic could defend Nikola Jokic, his former teammate
in Denver. Okay, so I get that. You know who the big loser is?
Oh, yeah.
Miami.
That's right.
The Miami Heat. Because if you're Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley and all those guys, Bam Adebayo, you're sitting there thinking you're going to get Dame, that sometime before November, when the season essentially starts, 25th of October, they're going to offer more, they're going to sweeten it, they're going to get Dame Lillard, and they're going to be the favorite in the East. I think we were all waiting on that. Not so fast. They're not the favorite in the East now.
Well, and Damian Lillard, you know, he wanted to go to a contender. Now, he doesn't get the weather that he wanted, but he actually has a team that has won a championship. We know Eric Spoelstra's won. We know that Pat Riley has won. But Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, yes, they've been to the finals, but they haven't won yet. And I think for Giannis, he's going to be motivated. He's got a bit of a Kobe Bryant mentality. He's just driven player. He knows he's the reason that they lost in the first round to Miami. He got hurt. Then when he came back for Game 5, he was 10 for 23 from the free throw line. So he's going to come off of that season. You look at Damian Lillard the last 2 years, didn't play in a lot of games, and Damian Lillard's biggest moment in the NBA, conference finals, played the Golden State Warriors, no Kevin Durant. He couldn't take a game off the Warriors. So he wanted to win. Believe it or not, it's a better situation for him than Miami was.
Here's the question ultimately, does this reorder what we think about the NBA at the top, not just the East?
I know.
Does this help Milwaukee, if they needed to, square up with the Denver Nuggets champions?
Yeah.
Does it help put them on even basis talent-wise with the Phoenix Suns, with the Lakers, who had a great offseason?
I absolutely think that it does. You know, my biggest thing, though, here with the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think, you know, Giannis, clearly the things that he was saying, he was trying to get to management.
Yes.
And they
he did.
And clearly
he did.
They responded.
Yeah.
I just wonder now the way the rest of the Eastern Conference is going to shape up. A lot of ton of pressure on Damian Lillard. He hasn't been to even a finals yet. And I would think for Milwaukee, the minimum would be making it to the conference.
What does this do to Philly?
Well,
Philly, which now is even further outside than they already
James
were.
Harden to Miami? And Drew Holiday, by the way, probably going to get flipped. And I would think there'd be a lot of
I'd be willing to do that. Get Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday's built like a linebacker.
Yes.
You know?
But we got to watch the Harden situation now. We could have more breaking news tomorrow.
Yeah. Real quickly, though.
That'd be good.
Milwaukee, Giannis said, you know, can they make the moves to stay competitive? They made a move to get Drew Holiday, won a championship. Now they made the move to get Damian Lillard. So they've done what Giannis wanted.
He should be re-engaged.
100%.
Re-engaged, Giannis.
100%.
I'm not.
Really?
No, you know I love this team my whole life. My whole life. And, you know, 2016, if we do lifetime highlights, my life, birth of son, Cubs win. I mean, it's way up there. It's all. I'm maybe exaggerating a little bit. So I love this team, and I love what this team has done to be a year early. But last night, and by the way, I'm not putting this on Suzuki. I'm not.
He's been great.
The Cubs had a 6-0 lead. It can't come down to 6-5, and you've given up all these runs when you have a 6-0 lead in Atlanta. You know what Atlanta is, and Atlanta was awake because the Cubs had won 2 out of 3 against the Braves when the series was in Wrigley earlier in the summer. No, they've blown too many. They have so many one-run losses. They had back-to-back walk-off losses to Cincinnati, I think early August. And you look at all these losses, these one-run games the Cubs have lost, there's going to be a half dozen of them. And they're going to miss out on the wild card spot probably by a game. They lose the tiebreakers anyway to the Marlins and to Arizona. No, I want this to happen. I want to be wrong. But, Frank, 6-0 lead.
Mr. Optimistic over here. A couple of things. You're gutted for Suzuki, who's carried the teams at this point this season. In September, he's batting over 370. But you mentioned being a lifelong Cub fan. How quickly you forget 1998, the 25th anniversary just passed, where the Cubs, late in the season, on the verge of helping themselves in a pennant race, and it was Brant Brown dropping that fly ball in the sunlight of Milwaukee. What happened, Mike? They didn't fall apart. They ended up winning a playoff game against the Jets.
That year.
Well, it happens.
I'm old enough.
This isn't the black cat running across the dugout in 69.
It isn't? You sure?
No. I just gave you a recent example. 25 years ago.
Do I need to go to 2003, which is more recently? Do I need to do that? You don't want to play this Cub misery game with me. You really don't.
There is an omen, a good omen for you.
You know what? I'll be very happy if you're right. Hug you tomorrow if you're right. All right. Messi's got some issue with some old scar tissue. This thing doesn't necessarily just go away, that kind of ailment. I'm going to say properly ambitious, because all soccer teams talk about worldwide, managers, star players, is winning a trophy.
That's right.
Holding a trophy.
That's right.
This would be that team's second trophy since getting Messi. That's what they play for. He's 100 years old. You're not putting him on the shelf so he can be ready for some, tournament in 4 years. You're playing Messi because you got him now. Now, this is his call. But properly ambitious, this is what these teams do. Why wouldn't you play him? What are you holding him out for? Yeah,
you're right. I think it would be justified. I think what's going to happen, because remember, in a final like this, if it's tied at the end of regulation, they play the 2 15-minute overtimes. That's 30 extra minutes before it goes to penalty kicks. So I could see a scenario just like the game that I went to back in August in New York when he was tired. They wanted to rest him. They brought him on with 30 minutes to go. They're playing Houston. Houston isn't a great team. I think he's going to play, but Mike, this is a big part of it. If you start him, now you're looking at 90 minutes, maybe plus 30. That's a lot for a guy carrying this injury. So I think he's going to play, but I think they're going to bring him in at the 60th minute in a tight list. If they were losing 2-3-0, he's not coming. If they're winning 2-3-0, he's not coming in. Yeah, but if it's tied or they're down,
get down in a situation because Messi could have impacted the game earlier. You know anything about scar tissue injuries?
No, but I know. I'm sure it hurts.
It does, but it's not like it's pain tolerance. But it's not like having a badly sprained knee or a sprained ankle or a pulled groin or a hammy. Don't tell me Messi's not playing. I don't want to hear that.
And to your point, he's been all in. In the month of August, he played 600 minutes. Yes. That's the most he had played in a calendar month since leaving Barcelona. So he is committed to playing for this team. Let me ask you one other
question. We talk about GOATs.
Yep.
You think Michael Jeffrey Jordan would be sitting this out?
You're 100%.
You think Wayne Gretzky would sit this out?
You're 100% right. No. I think he's going to play. By the way, when he didn't play the last game against Orlando, they drew 1-1. Orlando's got a good team. So Miami, they're rolling, and he gives them a lot of confidence, obviously, even when he doesn't play.
What's next?
It's blank that the Liberty and Aces both won last night.
It was very simple for me. This is fitting because, we're not supposed to root, but we're rooting.
Yep.
You want to see the two best teams in the sport play for the championship. That's the Liberty, and we see Breanna Stewart holding up her MVP trophy. We want to see them play for the championship, plain and simple. So it's fitting that they won. Because I'm going to tell you, obviously, we thought the Liberty had to win that game,
100%.
Having dropped game one at home.
100%.
And listen, that was close. I remember checking the score last night because I was out, and it was a 2-point game, and I'm thinking, wow, could the Sun pull off another win here and threaten this whole, scenario of the two best teams getting to the championship?
Yeah. My word is predictable, and hear me out on this one. First of all, the Aces are so much better than Dallas. Asia Wilson finished third in the MVP voting. So like your buddy Michael Jordan did a million years ago when Karl Malone won it, he uses it as motivation.
She took it out on,
Alyssa Thomas, by the way, finished second.
And she could have been the MVP.
And she got the most first-place votes.
She could have been the MVP.
But here's the other predictable part. The Liberty needed the win, and Breanna Stewart's a great player. You get that trophy. There's all this distractions around. She shot 3 for 13. Now, she did have 11 points, 11 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 5 assists, the huge block that she had.
Team record 5 blocks, but including
how
the
many
big
times
block.
have we seen a player get the MVP trophy that same night and they struggle? And I'm going to tell you a game. I was at this one a million years ago when they gave David Robinson the MVP in San Antonio in the Western Conference Finals, and Hakeem absolutely tore.
I remember that.
Sometimes getting that award and having to play on that night.
2 nights.
But
the MVP and the ring ceremony.
I know.
But usually the MVP is presented in the NBA in the first round at like the second home game of the MVP. This was an interesting time to present that to Breanna Stewart. Good for her. Happy 28th birthday, Christian Wood. You head into your 8th season with your 8th team, this time the Lakers. Wood averaged 17 and 7 last season with the Mavericks, but got less than $6 million over 2 seasons from the Lakers. Part of that surprisingly low salary is due to his maybe longtime desire to play for the Lakers, and part of it is undoubtedly due to the many questions about his commitment. But the Lakers reportedly hope that Wood taking minutes as center along with Jackson Hayes can free up Anthony Davis to play more power forward. Frank, what do you think?
I know that you like the move.
I do.
I would like it too, as long as Christian Wood falls in line with LeBron James. Because LeBron James isn't going to stand for not committing.
This is up to LeBron. LeBron's got to ride herd here to some extent.
Yeah.
And sometimes that doesn't work.
8 teams in 8 years says
like
a lot.
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
That pouting and
Don't
lack
be
of
hating
commitment.
DeAndre.
Sometimes you can't get him to do what you want.